Hello, and welcome to the Nights in the Nightmare Let's Play. This is video 44, covering scene 39. Last time, we fought and killed Peach, who was the granddaughter of Cardinal Capehorn. She'd been transformed into some kind of a harpy monster by Zolganart, as a means to punish Capehorn. At any rate, she was reduced to a wild animal. She was out of control, and so when we came across her, we put her down. In fact, we squashed her like a bug. She didn't put up a very good fight at all. Afterwards, we saw a cutscene in which Algerie was entering the Tiamat's territory, and indeed she was killing anyone getting in her way. She seems to be driven to reclaim the corpse of the king. Yelma has actually caught up to Algerie, and seems content to just let Algerie carve a path to the king's corpse for her. In the meantime, we, the Wisp, have now finally entered the Tiamat's territory, and of course we're hung up by random monsters once again. We don't have time for this. Let's clean them up. We can see on the field there's some blue crystals that hold key items. Of course they do. They take quite a beating, so it's going to be quite a concern to get them busted open to get the key items out. We have an empty spot. I'm going to throw in Rosa, one of our permanent priestesses. That's a good spot. She should be able to do a lot of damage from there. As far as key items, we have one knight to recruit, Alfred. Black Grimoire. Let's load up some weapons. I give a holy weapon to Rosa, the tried and true Venus wand. It's gotten us through a lot of scrapes, hasn't it? Alfred is near a ice dragon, so I go ahead and throw on a flame lance for him. And that leaves one last inventory slot, so let's load up one more key item. An NPC named Muse has a candlestick. Okay, we'll deliver it to her. This looks good for a first round.
Engage! I shall fulfill my duty.
Lucana is a NPC maid that we ran into in the castle. Alright, we've recruited this jerk-off. So here we have a dead Tiamat that we're able to talk to, just like a human. So it seems as though they follow the same rules. Well, we don't know much about Tiamat society. Apparently that's some kind of a title or something she wanted to hold. Now Rosa's in a good spot. She's going to attack that darkness enemy with a sanctity weapon, so she'll do double damage. But she's also hitting that crystal and the treasure box at the same time. And with his attack, she awakens the treasure box. It was a mimic. Fortunately for me, it was a darkness-based mimic, and so, of course, her holy rod does double damage on this guy, too. That worked out really good. Now we're out of magic points, so let's get some gems. That ice dragon near Alfred, his path wants him to travel past that crystal, but since it's in the way, he's kind of stuck there. So he doesn't actually move around at all. Alfred's able to finish that thing off. Alright, that was a pretty good round. We got 2 key items. We delivered 1 key item to an NPC and 1 to a knight. And we killed everyone on screen, so I'm quite happy with that. Alfred. I kind of screwed up. I didn't want him in that position at the end of the round, but I killed the ice dragon a little faster than I expected to. That's fine. We're going to go ahead and pull him out and put in Gudrun, so get that douchebag out of here. And then for Rosa, I'm going to throw in Alonso. Because I screwed up the positioning, I had to make some changes to my plan. I really wanted to have a warrior smash that broken crystal, but that's not an option now because a warrior wouldn't be able to take care of it from that angle. Another NPC, Philo, has an ink bottle to deliver. So, the job for these Lance Knights are now to get in range of the crystals that they can keep beating on. There's 2 more crystals on the field, so 2 more key items to get out. And as I mentioned, the crystals take quite a beating, so I want to get on with it. Kind of overdo the Holy Lances for Gudrun. And I make a big mistake here. I load up a neutral lance for Alonso. That'd be perfect because he's near a lightning-based enemy, but the weapon actually exceeds Alonso's level. He can't wield it. Fortunately for me, it never comes up. I don't even get to the point where I want to use him to attack.
Engage.
So we have another dead Tiamat on the field. Okay, it looks like he's some kind of a historian for the Tiamats. Alright, I'm getting Alonso into range. And now it's Gudrun's turn. That's a good spot for Gudrun. She'll hit that wolf monster, or the hound monster, but she'll also beat on that crystal at the same time. I interrupt that spider, and that actually costs me. The hound was able to wander out of range because I spent too much time spinning that jammer. Yeah, Gudrun got the last laugh, though. Okay, that crystal has 87% damage, so good job, Gudrun. We might as well finish it off now. Upon killing that monster, the witch got promoted to a final monster, meaning if I kill her now, then that'll end the round, which of course is too soon. I need to get the last remaining key item out. So I gotta be careful not to kill her, but I can use her to get some magic points. Alright, I have 1.3 seconds left, so not enough time to do anything. Okay, steady progress. We got another key item. We can see in the monster reels that witch is flashing. Yep, she's a final monster. I need to avoid her. Alright, good job, guys. First, I pull out Gudrun, and then I actually move her to Alonso's spot. She can handle weapons better than he can, so I need to put my best Lance Knight there. As for the empty slot, there was a shout-out in the thread for Bella, the duelist we just recruited. So I thought, you know, what the hell, I'll throw her in around, I'll give her a few pause talks, and I'll see what she can do in battle. Bella is near an ice enemy and a darkness enemy, so I go ahead and throw a fire sword and a sanctity sword for her. And looks like we have a weapon for every monster, so let's get it on. Azan was mentioned by Alonso. He is the leader of the Tiamats. Seems a little far-fetched that Wilmgard would have anything to do with his death, if you ask me. Bella is talking about one of her subordinates, as it says here. She's the leader of the 10th Order. Okay, the main concern here is to have Gundren beat on that crystal that's near her.
That seemed to be effective.
23% damage on that crystal. This is going to take a while. Let's see if we can clear up some of the scum with Fabella. Alright, with one blow she kills the ice guy. Nice job. With 10 seconds left, I decide let's go for a kill. The spider's got about 40% of his health left. Unfortunately, Fabella doesn't have enough time to get a full charge off. And the spider survives barely. Look at that, he has 83 hit points left. Well, that spider's on borrowed time. We're going to drag his ass back in here. There you are, buddy. There's no escape. And again, we need to avoid that witch. Okay, that dragon has a similar situation as the last one. It's trying to go through that crystal, but it can't. So it's actually just going to stand there. Of course, Fabella can't point in that direction to attack. So I'm going to have to pull her out. Go ahead and throw Rosa back in. That dragon will be easy pickings for her. And Rosa should be able to finish off that spider too. So no more duelists. I can remove the sabers. That fire rod should take care of the dragon nicely. And Gudrun's doing good with her lance. We'll just keep plinking away. That crystal has 24% damage. We've got a ways to go. Rosa was able to finish what Fabella started. She killed that spider. And here's a knuckle sandwich for that dragon. Although he does survive. And we have no more magic points, so let's get some gems. Now when Gundren goes south here, she actually hits that blue dragon and knocks him off course. So now he's free to move around. She's altered his path. He's still a sitting duck for Rosa, though. Alright, it's just us, the yellow dragon, and the crystal. Fortunately for us, that dragon is a high-level creature, so he'll take quite a beating before we kill him. I don't want to kill him because if I clear out all the other lightning-based enemies, I'll be forced to bring the witch on screen. Well, 1.13 seconds left. Let's just call it quits. Looks like we have another final monster in the reels. There's a purple dragon, so let's avoid him. And in place of that ice dragon is a hound creature. So we can pull out Rosa and throw Frabella back in. She will be in a little peril. She'll be in the line of sight of that hound. But he will actually move into position where she can attack him. Once again, a fire weapon and a sanctity weapon for Bella. And Gudrun's just going to keep using that lance of hers.
Engage!
You know, if he's a historian, I would have hoped for some more Tiamat lore, but I guess not.
That seemed to be
Alright, it's safe for Frabella to charge up. Let's take that hound out if we can. Alright, he survived with about 40% of his health. He won't survive another blow if we can get it off. Although I don't want to charge Frabella when he's down there on that position. Okay, Gudrun spends our last magic point with that attack, so we have to get some more gems. Look at this. 2 tornadoes on the screen at once. Come on.
will
1.73 seconds left. Screw this. We got no kills that time, so at least we don't have to worry about any more final monsters. %82 damage on our crystal. We should get it this round. I think the knights have a decent setup here, so let's push on.
Engage! It's showtime! Upon my honor! Take out! I'll give you a that seemed to be effective! Upon my honor! Take out! I'll give you a that seemed to be effective!
Finally, the key item pops out. Alright, let's clean up this mess.
Upon my honor!
On for Bella's out of range. There we go.
It's break out. Burn. Just now.
Frabella kills the hound, and Gudrun mortally wounds the dragon.
It will never falter. Be effective.
2 more tornadoes on the screen. God damn it.
Upon my honor.
Oh, I don't want that lance. Suck it in.
Upon my honor.
Finally, down goes the dragon. We have no magic points. It's off, dude. Anyway, we have no magic points, and I don't really want to trot Gudrun all the way over to that eyeball guy, and I definitely don't want to trot for Bella, because that'll move her out of position. So instead I just end the round and take the magic points I can get for the time remaining. Okay, we are clear to end this round. Let's load up some final monsters. All the monsters on screen now are final monsters. We only have to kill one and we'll end the round. We have the tools, we have the talent. This should be pretty quick.
Engage! It's showtime!
I'm going for the flying eyeball guy. And he's hanging on by a thread. Alright, good job, guys. Fuck you. Here at the inventory screen, I have some trance souls that I need to take care of, like I mentioned last time. However, I'm not going to do them. The reason why is because once I'm done here, I'm actually going to decline the save. The reason for that is because I mentioned in the thread that if anyone wanted to see any certain rush effects, to go ahead and request them, and I'll see what I can do about that. So I don't want to save after this inventory spot. I need this opportunity to upgrade weapons to bring out the rush effects if I need to. And since I'm not saving, what's the point of transsoling? I just have to do it again, so no thank you. While we're here though, I do want to talk about the knight we recruited this time, Alfred. We've seen him before. In fact, we've seen him fairly early in the game. This was back in Scene 9, and in fact it was actually the first time we the player got to lay eyes on Yelma. We had heard about her before, but this is the first time we actually saw her. And what was going on was she was talking to a knight at the Fortress Skybridge, so that is Fort Gerhard. The conversation was basically about her asking for a report, and who's she talking to but none other than Alfred himself. And he's reporting into her and saying, "We believe the resistance has been dealt with," meaning the survivors. So this is after the tragedy at the castle, after the shit hit the fan, after most of the kingdom has been killed, and he's reporting into Yelma saying, yeah, we think we've killed most of the survivors. She goes on to say, well, where were they hiding out? And he responds with, they were in Fort Gerhard, and we think they're wiped out, there weren't many. So this piece of shit was helping to kill any survivors after the monsters invaded. So fuck him, he's a sack of shit. I'm sure there's some lame excuse that someone could make about maybe Yelma was controlling him. But whatever, he's still a douchebag. I'm trying to decide what to do with him. I'm leaning towards exile, but I guess we'll see what happens. Alright, having said that, let's move on. And here we go again. Another map full of monsters to kill and key items to get. Looks like we have maximum monster density next time, so I'm sure we are in for some good times. Before that, though, of course, as always, let's do some plot talk. First, I wanted to mention something about what Fabella was talking about. The first pause talk we did, she was talking about Amalgun, and he was the archer that we recruited the same time we did Fabella. He was on the same screen. Fabella is the leader of the 10th Order, and she was given the duty of tracking Aldry in the west. So she gathered some of her guys from the 10th Order, including Amalgun. We also saw Werner and Grimwad. Those guys were parts of the 10th Order as well. So she grabbed a handful of her guys and then went out west. All of those guys were killed by Peach. At any rate, during the pause talk, she says on Amalgun, the mission ranks higher than any one faction. And then the second time we talked to her, she says of Heinel, Heinel agrees the factions are ridiculous. Heinel is that one-eyed Lance Knight that we recruited quite a while back. I think we've transsold her since. But she's also a member of the 10th Order. Anyway, what I wanted to point out was these factions that Fabella's talking about. The kingdom, of course, was being led by King Wilmgard, but there were some sub-factions within it. There were some people loyal to the prince, and then towards the end there were people loyal to Cape Horn. So there's been some splintering off leading up to when the big tragedy occurs. And basically Fabella's saying, what a waste of time, come on guys, get it together. Moving on. During the last video, we saw a part of the narration that mentioned, according to the religious beliefs of the Tiamats, criminals are stripped of all proof of their draconic heritage. So the Tiamats are descendants of dragons, and as a form of punishment, their wings and horns are removed to remove any proof that they are Tiamats. In the flashback, we saw that one guy was being sentenced to be banished. They let him live, but they took his wings and horns. And I have to say, I did appreciate the nutshot that this Tiamat sentry got on him. Of course, it was revealed that it was Cape Horn of all people. So Cape Horn was a Tiamat all along. And finally, we're getting a little motivation for him. He's spoken about wanting to create a new world order or weird stuff like that, but we've never gotten a reason why. Well, it looks as though he was a Tiamat and he was pissed off at being oppressed by the humans. He dedicated quite a lot of his life trying to bring the Tiamats back to prominence. However, getting ostracized like this, stripped of his heritage, and then kicked out, that pissed him off pretty bad. So he says they will regret the contempt they have shown me, they will suffer twice the pain and humiliation I have. And he's referring to both the humans and the Tiamats. So now he's just fucking pissed off. Finally, we get a little motivation. In the present day cutscene, we saw that Sakito finally made her way to Alier with the corpse. She mentions the kingdom's mage sent monsters and demons on us. I assume she meant Yelma, but we do know that Yelma wasn't present during the big fight when the Tiamat soldiers were killed. But I'm not going to dwell too much on it. She goes on to say, yep, this is certainly the corpse. This is King Wilgard's corpse. It's in a casket. I promise. And then she goes on to say, we need to seal it. Remember, the Tiamat's plan is to just take the arbitrator out of the equation. The reason why is because Alier has reasoned that if anyone gets the power of the arbitrator, it's just going to be the end of the world for them. So her top priority is to just take it out of play. Then Alier goes on to say this. And to be honest, I don't feel like I really need to comment on that. She might as well have said, what could possibly go wrong? Then Sakito notices, holy shit, they're approaching. Wait for me, princess, I will ensure the barrier is up. And she scampers off. And that brings us to where we are now. We're still fighting some random monsters. Looks like this next battle is going to be kind of tough. We'll also be checking out some rush effects before too long. So I'm looking forward to the next battle. I think it'll be kind of fun. Just to put things in perspective, there are 47 stages in this game, and we're about to play stage 40. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.